What up, folks? Welcome to episode 2 of Internet Explorers. Hanging out here with dear friends Josh. What up, Josh?
What up? How we doing?
Peace node on the keys. What do we on the mouse? On the screen?
The keys.
That's right. On the controls, baby.
On the controls.
Yeah, let's go.
A resident VJ.
That's right.
Let's see what's going on.
Good morning.
We are here every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, live. We got the chat happening here. And we're going to talk about consumer crypto, consumer apps generally. Just very excited to have a weekly touch point where we can share what's going on in our world, and then hopefully hear a little bit more about what's going on in yours as well. We continue to develop and evolve this platform here so people can come in and mint stuff and talk about stuff. So excited that you're here early with us. And I know Josh has curated a wonderful set of links and weird adventures to go down with Peace Node.
Yeah, I think we had like 6 topics last week, and we got through them. So I made us a more ambitious stack this week. But yeah, please get busy in the chat. We want this to be we worked hard this week to decrease our latency. So Jess and I have the chat open. We want this to be very participatory. So drop questions and thoughts, and we'll try to jump into them real time if we can.
Yeah, look, we got oh yeah,
we got LDF, we got Steph. Oh yeah, we're rolling. We're rolling.
Real cool.
All right, let's get into it. Yeah, so the first like stack of topics I put together all kind of around AI, crypto. I think AI just had a massive week generally. Felt like the hype may have like died down for a minute, and then I think just a couple of weeks ago we were talking and just kind of both realized that our like chat GPT usage had kind of significantly increased recently. And then I don't know, I think early this week it was OpenAI Dev Day, and then the AI announcements and experiments and tweets just kept coming all week. So wanted to kind of run through a few of those. Going to start with OpenAI Dev Day, but I think all the following ones are pretty crypto related. So yeah, maybe to just like set the scene on that. So yeah, OpenAI's first Dev Day on Monday. I think pretty funny because this is, I'm not a Dev Day kind of person, but I think devs in the AI in the OpenAI world are basically everyone at this point. So yeah, a few big announcements. Like they announced a new model called GPT-4 Turbo, which whatever is just better, does everything better. Don't need to get into the details there. I think like the most interesting thing really was their announcement of GPTs, which is, basically the ability for anyone to create custom chatbots, I think using an API, but more interestingly, a no-code interface. And basically you can just talk to it, feed it custom instructions, give it proprietary data sets that you have, and like, within minutes kind of have your own AI agent. So I think, pretty clearly we're going to see this explosion of custom AIs coming out of this, and who knows what the implications of that be. But yeah, Jess, I know you've been kind of like on this train for a while, thinking about it in the context of Seed Club. So curious what you think right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were thinking about it in terms of looking at that as a investment opportunities, and we're seeing all the sort of wrapped GPT startups coming out there, and I think we're questioning the value of that. But this idea of I think we hold the belief that networks are eating the world, and this is like the most exciting potential type of network around. This idea of you're able to contribute your own data and build these more specific networks of knowledge, and who else, who knows what will be built on top of it. So definitely things we're thinking about. Definitely a lot of startups having to reimagine their vision here, as I think OpenAI just kind of sucked a lot of the energy out of a lot of these sort of wrapped AI startups. But yeah, I think there's gonna be millions of these things. I think there's gonna be some really big, open networks that people contribute to. I think there's, the big question, and I think is like everybody ran away from crypto and into AI, but who's coming back and where's that intersection? And I think there's a number of teams that are poking at that. So I think OpenAI Dev Day is just cool to see from like how that network's evolving and like where the App Store will live. Like, is it these plugins, or is it these sort of, and it's probably will feel a little bit more seamless. And so I think that'll be sort of a base layer, but how crypto layers on top of that, I think, is the most interesting opportunity around.
No doubt. Yeah, I think it's also just crazy how I think like the speed that organization's running. I don't know if they're probably half powered by AI at this point, but like 100 million retail users, 92% of Fortune 500 companies are using them. they're just like, they're already or becoming like core infrastructure for just all of tech, it seems like. So I don't know, just a crazy generational company that's being built.
Yeah, I'm sure they've done even more than what they're mentioning, but I feel like this is an important time to mention open source language models. We're very proud to be investors in Stability.ai. I think go back to like the early days of social media where I was so excited about Facebook and YouTube and, we can publish directly to the world. And then all of a sudden those networks become the aggregators and powers and controllers of those worlds, for good and for some negative outputs as well. So I think the idea of OpenAI being like the core infrastructure behind millions of startups and kind of being beholden to them and their decisions is kind of scary to me. So I'm very excited about the open source movement that's happening within AI. And I think it's catching up a lot faster than people might think. So,
yeah, 100%. And we'll dive into that shortly with the ritual announcement. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly kind of jump off that. Yeah, the GPTs, custom chatbots train, and just take a quick look at this little like experiment that Ian from Syndicate ran and spun up. That's pretty cool. So basically, he just I think in a couple hours and couple lines of code, just really like demonstrated how easy it's getting to, I guess, both like the AI tooling is getting increasingly better and the crypto tooling is getting increasingly better. So it's just, we're at a point where it's very, very easy to stitch those together into pretty interesting, like autonomous agent kind of crypto things. And, obviously what he built was this pretty simple, like 20 question game where you could, talk it, I guess, chooses some random word. You're supposed to guess it. And if you get it right, it automatically sends you an NFT. So obviously like, pretty basic, of course, but, still pretty, anyone that has like basic, coding skills, like he literally said 2 lines of code, can start experimenting at the intersection of AI and crypto, which is pretty exciting.
Why did he censor his address? Okay, no answer. No reply.
OPSEC, baby. OPSEC.
OPSEC. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Love it. Now I can't send him NFTs. This is bogus.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
bots only. Okay.
Oh man, the garbage that gets sent to my public address, dangerous out there. Yeah, I mean, I think what's interesting is like so many of the popular the networks that have users right now really have bots as users, right? Like there's still so many folks that are out there just farming airdrops or potential airdrops, and it can be a challenge as you're building, trying to make sure you're building for the right people. But I think they're also really great customers, right? Like if they're doing transactions and those networks are earning fees off transactions, like let's go. So I think, it's a pretty juicy area here. My guess is we see it in trading first. I think, definitely there's history in the space around that. But curious where it goes. And I don't know, I just love to see people fucking around with stupid things like that, right? I think there's probably a ton of opportunity there that we haven't even fully explored. Sort of touches on autonomous worlds, which is maybe more the gaming side of things. But yeah, I mean, I think core to anybody, to most people I talk to that have an AI meets crypto thesis is this idea that, I think it's summed up with like an AI isn't going to wait 2 days for an ACH wire transfer to clear, like the most obvious. Yeah. So these rails are just super cool, and it could get weird pretty quick.
Yeah. Let's actually. Oh, go ahead.
Well, also just stoked to see Syndicate sort of, they made a pretty big pivot, came out as more infrastructure for sort of Web3 integrations, working with some big brands, but you start to see that the power of that infrastructure to enable new, easier consumer experiences. I think you're going to start to see a bunch of new interesting things being built. Hopefully an LDF LLM that can just go by just great NFTs naturally, because I feel like that's probably the right way to use.
Yeah, LDF. We're going to say AI probably 100 more times in the next 10 minutes. So take the over.
Do you want me to say? Oh, AI.
AI.
Is she drinking right now?
Okay.
Are we drinking?
She's going to start. Okay,
great. Well, all right. That's.
Yeah, it's funny. I was on I went to the Syndicate site when I was putting this together, and I was like, oh, this is very, very different than the last time I checked in on Syndicate. Like moving from the like investing collectives to now infrastructure for powerful Web3 something at scale. Yeah.
Have been deep in a pivot and are coming out of a pivot. So which that's like, maybe that's the other season we should be celebrating. It's like
pivot season
coming out of pivot season.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in a lot of that, right? People have just learned what doesn't work and maybe had some insights on what does work, and reshifting, and there's sort of this like relaunching of so many things that would have come out of the last bull market.
I mean,
I'm excited about that.
The organizations that have survived or like are still around in the last 3 years have just been so willing to like completely tear down and rebuild as needs change, as learnings kind of evolve, or as like whatever the narratives just change. I think Zora's been a great example of that. We had Jacob on, and
Zora,
he was specifically talking about that.
Mirror, Zora. Syndicate,
Seed Club.
Well, every time I talk to Nick, one of our investors, like, Seed Club changes every 6 months. I'm like, I think it's been pretty consistent. He's like, well,
we're good. Yeah, consistent in the front, and consistent in the back.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice. Yeah, let's jump into this ritual raise, because I think good continuation of kind of the stuff we were just talking about. So they, and also my like understanding of actually what they're doing is pretty limited, but it seems cool. So their mission is to like advance collective collaboration and the integration of AI on chain. That's what they say. But as far as I understand it, basically what they're building is like a networked and crypto native alternative to like OpenAI or Hugging Face. So they're opening up like the ability to like permissionlessly participate on the supply side of models and compute, as well as actually like building the infrastructure for agents and AI powered smart contracts to just much more easily operate on chain. So I think, kind of gets into, what you're just talking about a bit with, the walled gardens that these big, huge companies are building, stability as being kind of an open source alternative there. Obviously, like the big challenge is monetization, or like what the business model of being an open source alternative is. I think stability is going the like enterprise services route, but kind of cool to see someone going the like crypto native, like networked route, which is what it seems like these guys are doing.
Yeah, big juicy raise. A bunch of folks that were leading tech at some large firms are sort of co-founders of it, so I think that's contributed to it. Obviously, very hot space. Honestly, Josh, I looked at that thing. It had the sexiest diagram trying to explain what it does, and I
sexy.
saw that. And I was like,
no idea.
Well, they know what they're talking about. I don't actually know what any of this means, but you look like you know what you're talking about. So,
yeah,
that's about as far as I got with that. Obviously, just a ton of juice here as far as opportunity, though.
Yeah, totally. I think actually a couple of examples they provided of what their tech will unlock is, I think one was using natural language to just like directly talk to or interact with smart contracts, which is kind of cool. Another one was agents automatically managing risk parameters for lending protocols based on real-time market conditions. So I think it's like, the possibilities are pretty endless if AI or AI models are kind of treated as first-party citizens on chain. And maybe actually from here, let's jump to a tweet that Jesse dropped, where he actually responding to the tweet that from Ian when he released that experiment he did. And Jesse's tweeted that he thinks AI at the center is going to be the key to DAOs actually working. So I think this actually probably touches on a lot of stuff that we talk about internally, Jess. So I wanted to just get your reaction to
that. Yeah, I think it's funny. So we've been looking at the space for a long time. Like clearly there's information overload. It's, one of the biggest challenges of operating a DAO is that actually they're pretty shit at coordinating very specific things. And so, yeah, I think there's a ton of opportunity here. Stability came to us as a tool for AI for DAO governance. That is sort of the lens that it came in with, and it's since sort of found a bigger market opportunity for it. And also, I think it was just too early at that point. But yeah, like you're very clearly, even today, knowing what some of the teams have built who are operating investment DAOs or very specific DAOs to just manage that information overload. As simple as just recording calls, doing transcripts, writing summaries, all the way through to tweet threads, etc. Like, so the information asymmetry challenge, I wouldn't say solved, but has improved drastically. And then if you think about, then the interaction points that could come from that. So I think it's very reasonable to think that you can, input a bunch of data, help people make sense of it, probably engage with it in AI again, and then all of a sudden a rule set is created and the AI's out there interacting with you. yeah, again, another huge opportunity. I think my guess is it's driven by very specific. Like I think going through the lens of what Ian did of trying to do a hack thing to go do something. I think that's probably going to be the path for new interesting things emerging, rather than we're going to go build this platform for AI and DAOs. And that a lot of other sort of DAO tools will be rolling out more of these features to make it more effective for their membership.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested in thinking about what, I think probably one of the best examples of just a well-designed, like protocolized DAO right now is nouns, just because of how simple and like fully protocolized it is. Like you buy a noun and you can propose and you can vote on proposals, and they just don't care at all about community or like network design or governance design. It's all, you go off, you do whatever you want, and then you come together to propose and to vote on proposals. And it kind of sidesteps a lot of inefficiencies and like coordination costs that I think a lot of other DAOs hit. Obviously, it's pretty limited in the complexity of what it can go after, but it's kind of cool to just think about what is like a model, like contained model like that with AI integrated, that can kind of like expand the complexity of the problem that they're going after.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I think the strength is that the complexities push off into individuals and their inspirations and desires, and sort of, I guess, got checked by the rest of the DAO. But yeah, I think there being more specific pathways for people to contribute towards specific outcomes could be one of the outcomes of this. I think I see just a world where all of us are contributing to our networks of choice, and that those are profitable for us in some way, either directly monetized or just very valuable to be a part of. And I think large language models as sort of like a glue and a facilitator of that makes a ton of sense. And I think it is also like maybe a inspiration for more open source things. Like I have zero desire to contribute to more big platforms and networks, data moats that keep me locked in. And I think people, if they're directly giving like more subjective feedback, suggestions, et cetera, to these networks, that having some ownership or control over them is probably going to be important. But we'll see. Yeah. Maybe that continues to be maybe an edge case in most things. So I don't know if that changes here with AI, but we'll see.
Well, I think one thing that's definitely true is we just so often are like frustrated with like how little we tap into our network, or how much like existing latent potential that there is out there, that we could, if we can just like figure out the right way to like create these participation pathways and bring people in without having to design some like insane complex org. There's so much potential there, and hopefully AI can maybe make that easy. We'll run some experiments.
Hurley is going to go build some AI toys. What else we got here? We got some requests for the blue marker to advance on the left side of their piece. Can we catch LDF up by?
We're on. What are we on right now? DAOs X AI. I think he's just scrambling to get this ready.
All right, I'll let you go then.
I'm on like 5 screens right now.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
I think what we need is like an over-the-shoulder view of Peace.
It's a great idea.
Managing his screens, managing the screen for everybody here.
True. It's one screen, many windows. I don't know.
Question for the chat: if you had if it was like Midjourney but purely trained on Peace Node's brain, would you use it?
Peace and I, yesterday we were running through the website, and then suddenly Peace just started dumping all of his Midjourney creations onto the screen for me, and I didn't want it to stop. I was like, I could watch this all day.
Maybe at the end of this show, we should just get Peace to generate some fun stuff for us.
Okay, there's a lot of support for that idea.
Actually,
Peace, you should pull up one of those like threads of 80s airbrushed images you were showing me yesterday.
Let's see if I can. These crazy. Ones, huge fan of these ones. Slade's
look
hands
at those. Look at these.
Wow. So is the trick to getting hands right just making them big?
I guess so.
This guy.
I'm obsessed with the Supreme Court judge here.
Just crawling out of the water.
Did you say you're obsessed with the Supreme Court judge here?
Yeah, he's awesome. Immaculate figure. His wardrobe, his hair, everything.
Oh yeah, let's go. This is okay. So this is inspiration. Anybody building governance tools? Here's your creative. And yes, we need a piece of AI. That's the website. It's just like a Google website. It's like,
Just like
piece
the-
design, or I'm feeling lucky, and it just creates a random one.
I like want to use these. I'm like obsessed with this direction here. This outfit. This is like. I wish I was.
Dude,
I wish I
feel
had
like
this outfit. I don't know.
I feel like
My
you
hair's
and
too
the AI,
curly.
you and the AI have just a connection that I can just never hope to have.
He's a Neuralink early adopter.
Yeah, I think he is.
These shoes. Oh my god.
Looks like a great car.
Yeah.
Those are great. All right, let's get into two more AI topics, and then we'll free you of AI for a minute. So want to just touch on .ai because they announced it yesterday. Saw it yesterday. Again, another just like really quick, clear use case of these like custom GPTs, and basically in their wallet, there's now a crypto copilot and personal assistant that you can talk to ask it what's trending on crypto, ask it token prices. It gets live data. You can ask it to actually perform transactions for you, and also it has a bunch of like educational kind of crypto content too, which is pretty sweet for people that are new here. So huge fan of obviously anything that makes crypto more friendly and accessible. Kind of scares me to like just perform transactions by chatting, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get there.
I'm sus of it, man. I'm
Yeah.
sus. Actually, but I think like conceptually having a place where you can have agents that are engaging in crypto is cool, and that's probably the opportunity Don's going after. But chat is just like figuring out when chat is the right user experience versus when it isn't. I think is going to be one of the bigger unlocks here, and clearly they will have the opportunity to do that. But like in no world do I want to sit down and say send Josh 0.32 ETH and I'll just be done with it and like happy with that. Like,
sounds great.
Not yet, at least. I could see maybe within a specific context, right? So, okay, maybe if the context is trading, and maybe that's really what this is doing. But I also think that the best user experience will be one where there's actually screens and visuals, and there's more of sort of a. Who likes typing?
Gestures only. I want to be able to wave and send Josh $1 of crypto.
Well, then you just need to get the.
I want to do my secret handshake, and then it will send money.
Bro,
okay, that's kind of sick.
That should have been on that Hume AI demo.
Exactly.
Throwing gang signs and then connect his friends or something.
That makes so much more sense.
Not happy that I love him. I love him so deeply. Like the straight deadpanness. Like if that, I just pray to whatever Lord you want to pray to that he has a sense of sarcastic humor, because that ability to deliver deadpan with some sarcasm you'd rule the world.
The best wedding speech I've ever seen was delivered like that, and it was so funny.
That's how you pitch your new AI product.
But it wasn't funny. That was
at the wedding.
At the wedding, yeah.
At the wedding. All right, moving on.
Find your match.
So last AI crypto topic was just a really cool experiment by the Titles team. Yes, they've built Source, which is a really cool AI powered image editor on-chain publishing tool. I'm sure.
I think Soren's in here, right?
Soren's probably here. You guys all know him. You guys have probably played with the product, but I think this this new experiment they're running is just kind of like another hint at like the future of collective ownership over AI. So I think it's pretty cool to check out. So basically, how it works is, so I guess within the Source product, for those that don't know, they have a bunch of models that are trained on like NFT collections, like Zorbs and Regulars and a bunch of others, and basically just make it really easy for communities to remix and mint assets and automatically have attribution to the original collection and send split proceeds and blah, 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 blah. Very cool. So what they're actually doing with this experiment, which they're calling Model Work in Progress, MODEL-WIP, is basically pooling capital from a crowdfund that's then going to be used to commission a piece of art that will then be used to train a model that's going to be released in Source. And then all proceeds from that are then going to go back to the original pool or split directly to crowdfunders. Not exactly sure on the mechanism, but sounds sweet. I think crowdfund's still open. Worth checking out.
Nice.
All right, Jess.
There's a flashback. Holly Plus.
I know. I love seeing that call out on the page. What was it probably isn't this. It's not. Forget what the marketplace was, but she made a marketplace around that voice model. And it was really cool. It was interesting to see that kind of thing. Love the
Holly Plus
premise.
they have a lot of interesting things there that maybe were just a little early.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whenever they're talking about something and build something, a year later it just becomes.
Did Josh freeze?
Oh, good. I thought it was just me.
It's very. Did I? Am I here?
Josh has to open his door so his Wi-Fi can get in.
Don't make me do that. We have a child running.
Kids running.
All right, Jess. Let's jump to Omegle. What do you got for us today?
So Omegle, it seems like it's one of these staples of the internet for the last probably decade or more. Super simple. It's like, you just get matched up with some random stranger on the internet through a live stream. I'm sure everybody here has either used something like it, or seen it on social media, because it's the core of a lot of content that's out there. But it shut down. I mean, this post from the founder here that piece has on screen is just, one hell of a shutdown post. The sounds of it is like, policing an open environment like that in a way that is sort of aligned with regulators and with the general public, who seem to hate it in some level. There's ton of risk on these platforms, right? There's pedophilia, predator, all that sort of the worst part of humanity, of course, is on the internet as well. But this is created by a kid who was 18 at the time. He's built this platform up over the longest time. It's been caught up in a lot of like the free speech and like, what do we want the internet to be like? And I think it is in one way just sort of a big proponent of a truly open internet, but also sort of a reason why. Well, I guess it calls some of the friction or some of the reasons why maybe that open internet is going to come with some negative outcomes that we have to be okay with. And there's just one line in this very long post that is definitely worth reading, talking kind of about the context of all this. And he said, if something as simple as meeting random new people is forbidden, what's next? That is far and away removed from anything that could be considered reasonable. Of a principle he mentioned earlier. Analogies are limited too, but a physical world analogy might be shutting down Central Park because crime occurs there, or perhaps more proactively destroying the universe because it contains evil. Anyway, so it's a lot of this sort of stuff. But I think you sort of watch these new waves of tech adoption. Let's call that social media or Web 2, and Omegle will be a part of that. And then you sort of watch like the government and social reactions to that, and just the battle that goes on that ultimately results in the digital world that we play on. And I think so many of us are building with beliefs in the value of an open internet and open money, and stuff like this is sort of an indication of the types of fights I think that are ahead. Where on the most simple version of it is very reasonable to want to go do those things, but then there are edge cases where negative outcomes happen, and it's sort of the social construct and cultural construct that needs to be evolved for that to ultimately develop. So I feel like we're on the we are here map, and that everything is trending towards being locked down, and it's probably not a good thing for the future. The internet was just, when Omegle launched, man, those are the days of the internet, man.
Yeah, early like startups. Anyone that was actually there building was just captivated and fascinated. I think hopefully feels a lot like what crypto is today. I think he had another good line in there where I think called today's internet a souped up version of TV, which is just great. Just focus on like passive consumption instead of, and obviously what we're building here is so participatory. So very, very much a rejection of.
Have you ever used Omegle?
I never had. I know chat roulette.
I think a chat roulette is something I use for sure. I'm curious if anybody in the chat, are you Omegle heads?
I actually hadn't even heard of it, amazingly.
Crazy.
But yeah, I think you know, what's why I'm so compelled by crypto is that, you know, like exploring it today, it feels like you're walking around like a bustling city, right? Like people are fucking selling things on the street corner. There's like underground parties that are weird and kind of illegal. Or, like people are experimenting with, you know, weird pop-up shops and stuff, right? And like, you know, of course there's all like the muggings in the back alleys, but like, what, you want to go live in Disneyland? Like, of course you don't.
Mm. No, I don't want to live in Disneyland. I'll visit.
I just, there's your guy.
Oh shit.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's a good line, though. I love it. It's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
All right, peace. Tell us about Pogs.
Yeah, what was this?
Oh,
What is the tweet though? Because that's the like what I love, you know, and again, part of the desire to have peace here in guiding us on the internet is that he's unhinged. Peace, you're unhinged.
I am
And-
so sick of myself.
No, you just tweet things, right? And oh, I mean, this.
Yeah.
I love that you literally tweeted this while you're live on stream. As the golden sun dips below the horizon, casting long shadows across the tranquil meadow, the world seems to hush, and a sense of calmness envelops the earth, promising a peaceful night's rest for all living beings. Tweeted
Do you know what
in the
that
morning
is?
on a live stream.
Do you know what that is?
No, I have no idea what that.
This is what OpenAI is using as their test text for their audio models. This is the scariest fucking thing that you could have for your demo text. I mean, it's cool, but it's just like it's too esoteric for a language model, man. Like I'm freaked out, and you're gonna give me the golden sun dipping below the horizon, casting long shadows. Like, oh man, I don't know. It's pretty cool. To be honest, respect. If I had a company, I would be putting out stuff like that too.
I mean, you literally are putting out stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, so I don't know. I mean, I just was shooting the shit. It was late and smoked weed, and I was reading Think Boy tweets, and as one myself who was so sick of hearing it. I don't know.
I'm so
I just
sad
started
I wasn't.
typing.
I'm so sad I wasn't there beside you.
Yeah,
Can I
I
read
just started
this out?
typing.
Can I
Yeah,
read this out
read it
in
out.
an announcer
Yeah, read-
voice, and
read.
then you can lead into it?
Yeah, sure.
As we enter a new era of crypto, I think it's time we leave behind all the technical jargon. NFTs have too much baggage, and I keep hearing things, quote from a friend who has been in the industry for 10 years, that gamers dislike crypto, I guess. Anyway, I present you WebPogs.
And then he also
Yeah.
proceeded to then jump to our Slack and just continue going off about it. So there's some
What-
energy
what is
there.
this? What is this? Give me the pitch.
So, well, then this is what's awesome is like, yeah, Steady Drift jumped in. He's like, yeah, JPogs. I'm like,
Amazing.
great. Are you kidding me? And Yuri, somewhere in here. Oh no. Oh yeah. Wait a second. Did Yuri delete his tweet? Anyway, I swear Yuri was like the first person to be like web slammers. We got Rayhan here saying web slammers. But then it was like, yeah, fucking duh, dude, slammers. So then I started imagining a platform that is basically like you walk into a room and there's a bunch of tables, but all of these are like live social staking tables. So you go there and you see two people who are in this room and they are staking their tokens, whatever, the crappy NFTs that they love or don't love. They're both staking them on a table. You see them there, their NFTs are staked. At this platform, you can buy slammers. And these slammers are tokens that basically just have like a random weight and then are subject to a bunch of different factors. And so those people then slam their slammers onto the table. It flips some of the NFTs over. They flip them over, they keep them. It's basically just a way to have fun and gamble with the tokens that you love or don't love. So yeah, I tweeted this and I was like, wait, no, it's actually just a really great idea to design a game around Pogs because it's like the simplest staking game ever. And like the way you win or lose is like how many flip over. I don't know. It's too funny. It's just like such a binary accidental thing that would be really easy to, well, quote unquote, easy to make on the internet. So now I'm fully for it. JPogs is like, it's great, man. I got to call Yuri and Steady Drift. We're trying to raise at like something modest, like 100 million valuation or something like that. 150, I don't know. Yeah, something super modest to get us started for the next bull.
A Pog platform where no one actually knows how to play still.
Sick.
Man, I mean, this is flashbacks to like the playground in elementary school with Pogs. I had my Pog carrier, had my slammers. I think I was too afraid to really play for real though, so I think I just collected them. But now as an adult, I would love to have a non-cringe reason to go play Pogs again. But I also love just JPogs as a stand-in for JPEGs or for NFTs generally, and maybe that's the best result of this lovely idea.
Yeah, I agree.
Nice JPogs.
More JPogs.
Yeah. Thank you, Steady Drift.
Well, Peace,
Right,
thank you for that. Thank you for that treat.
Yeah, we'll get some screens going next time.
Yeah, Peace really wanted to have screens going next time for this. So
I'm ready to design it. It's just the premise is great.
All right, next week, come back. It's gonna be screens.
I want to do a live design session here with Peace as he plays with Midjourney or whatever. So let's touch these last two awesome points, and then I want if we could just maybe engage with the chat to design a dope prompt. That would probably be fun.
Yeah, he wants a Peace face reveal, and I just don't think he can handle that.
Yeah, no, I mean, who are you, Javi? You show up to all our things. You're a huge supporter. We love you, but you think you get a Peace face reveal? Like,
you got to earn that. That's way more. That's way deeper.
It was a year and a half of working with Peace before I saw his face. And if anybody asks me, I'll still say I have no idea what he looks like. So,
thank you. Yeah, appreciate that.
All right,
cool. Let's that was good. That's hard to follow. Yeah, let's jump into Revel. So Revel's an SCO6 project that's building basically a product that facilitates releasing collectible personal media to your fans, followers, friends, whoever, kind of like a collectible on-chain Instagram to be like really brute force about it. But they're also building a bunch of like games and fun experiences on top. But kind of a really they're in our past cohort and had a check in with them yesterday. That was just kind of like really, I think, illustrative. Is it
illustrative?
Illustrative. There it is.
Illustrative.
Illustrative. Of just like, I think, a lot of the strategy that we worked on them with during the cohort, but also just, I think, some fundamental beliefs that we hold about how to go to market in Web3. So just kind of wanted to share those, and then Jess, I'll throw it to you to just kind of build off of it. But
I do kind of love that it's coming after this Pogs discussion, because there's the JPog is a lot closer to what Revel's doing.
Yeah, you're right. So let me set the context here. So they started off actually when they joined the cohort, already had a product out. We were just kind of like fascinated by a lot of the like gamification and kind of core primitives that they had. But they were largely building a Web 2 experience because they kind of saw this like emerging collecting behavior that we all know and love in Web 3, but really wanted to like make that accessible to Web 2 audiences, and obviously had huge ambitions to bring their product to the masses. So we're kind of like running directly at that, and their adoption and usage was, I think, okay, but not great. They had some big Web 2 influencers on the platform, but their fans weren't really collecting at the volumes that they hoped. So our core work with them during the cohort was really around like refocusing on crypto natives and starting to like bring the product on chain. And, really our hypothesis there was that, Web3 users, they already understand the value of collecting. They're not worried about paying a few bucks for digital goods. And it was really just already this kind of core way that like Web3 fans were engaging with the creators and influencers they liked and cared about. So the product would just immediately make sense to them. And in our check-in yesterday, they kind of ran through a bunch of metrics, and that's all just like proving incredibly right, I think, which was really sick to see. So basically it's been, up only across all metrics, even though the experience like fundamentally is the same for Web 2, Web 3. I think if you're coming through Web 3, you can, connect your wallet and, own the assets. If you come in Web 2, you can have, normal Web 2 kind of social login, and, they'll custody the assets for you. But the Web 3 audiences just performed like so much drastically better.
Yeah, I mean, they have followers or users that have millions of followers on there, and really the which is driving a lot of new users, but not stickiest users. And it seems like the stickiest part comes from people who have learned or understand or engage with collecting as a UX pattern on the internet, or as a thing to do, a job to be done on the internet. And it seems like, yeah, like if you do not know why you'd want to collect or own one of these things, which I think is always the core of my argument for why you need to build Web3 things for Web3 people, is like there's just these different behaviors that are required or things to understand for this to be valuable to an individual. And I think there was this early start of Instagram and some of these other platforms looking to layer on NFTs, but clearly they haven't sort of followed through. So I think like this increasing and expanding the adoption of collecting as a action people do seems to be the core things. And so where those communities exist and where that context exists, we're just seeing massive uptick in it. And I, calling it even Web3, I think Revel is still taking a very sort of middle of the road approach here, where you can sign up and not even know it's crypto, but you can sort of exit your assets, and they're bringing more of that on chain. But they're also building a bunch of games. So they have a game that they're working on that I think might satiate some of Peace Node's deep desires to go battle Pogs at some point. But I think it's more of just like, okay, you have this user base with this context and people and are getting excited about it, and then expanding that with fun things to do. I think it's going to look a lot more like a community platform around these interest groups or individuals than maybe, I don't know, like friend tech, all this people trying to define social file, all that sort of stuff bundles together. But
yeah, exactly.
Right.
It just highlights the importance of finding a wedge, right? Like find some core group of people who really fucking care, and then from there you can expand to adjacent markets and audiences and capabilities. But that's so much easier to do from this place of momentum and usage than from this place of like just searching for something that people care about.
Agreed.
But yeah, actually, the game they're building sounds a lot like Pogs.
I think calling it WebPogs is probably the way to go. That's probably, who owns the Pogs trademark? It's like Mattel or something like that.
Probably. Let's buy it off them. Crowdfund.
We'll go register JPogs though.
No, dude, the World Pog Federation.
Oh,
that's great, actually.
Yeah, this is amazing. Oh, you kidding me? It's back, dude. They're back.
Oh, I would kill to open one of those Pog packs.
Yeah, these are looking fire.
Okay, let's. We should probably buy a couple and just see what we get here.
We can open those.
How do you go?
Let's order some.
Yeah, we can totally justify purchasing some Pogs here for.
Yeah, we have like we got like 15 people watching this, so we're laughing.
Yeah. Dude, wager to win. They got everything here. It's really amazing.
Sick.
It's too beautiful. Those letters.
It is beautiful.
Here.
A custom font, a Pog font.
Yeah.
I mean, we're obviously releasing some custom C Club Pogs. That's a no-brainer. Keep that to yourself, everyone. All right, Jess, Coinbase verifications.
Yeah, I just shared this because I think there's like this parallel world being built where like the core, the sort of cool functionality gets built in Web3 generally, like the things that we know, like identity, wallet, management, etc. And that big platforms like Coinbase are actually in an incredible position to go build that out in a much more approachable way. And I think that's a big part of a lot of like why people are choosing to build on Base, is that there's this belief that on-ramp. So you think about like Coinbase being a bridge, Coinbase being a place for attestations or for identity, like it's clearly a big opportunity for them to go after. And I think there's going to be a very compelling, like bringing this together in a suite and being able to use an account like Coinbase it's going to be like sign in with Facebook, if you will, type thing, but for many, many more features than what are available right now. I'm not sure that's a good thing or a bad thing, but this is the type of thing that I think is where the trade-offs that will lead to a broader set of users will start to come from, where I come in for buying Bitcoin or Solana or Dogecoin, and then, okay, now I actually have an ID and a wallet, and now I can start to go engage in other things that are in that ecosystem. And I think that's the bull case for Coinbase and for Base itself, and it's being built right now. So wanted to flag it. And of course, there's a huge ecosystem of other players building out this type of functionality in different ways. And I think Coinbase is probably the most formidable competitor to those that have a head start right now.
Totally. Yeah, I'm just excited to see, DIDs and verifiable credentials being used in, what seems like a very kind of tangible and useful way. I think there's people have been talking about them for a long time, and a lot of kind of infrastructure and tooling being built around them. I think LDF has an intimate understanding of that. And then, this just makes a ton of sense for Coinbase. I think you're muted. Are you talking?
Oh yeah, I just have to mute myself. Otherwise, I'm not. That's just not my personality. If I don't show it up. Cool. What are we looking at here, Piece?
This is a June dashboard. 10K plus attestations.
Yeah, I dropped this. It was cool to see. I think they announced it like yesterday, end of day, and they already have like 15% of all like Ethereum attestation service usage. So that's great.
I mean, this is just the general thing, right? Like you go narrow to capture your wedge and then go wide, and Coinbase is just in such an opportunity to go wide on this. You see it in DeFi protocols platforms as well, but I think like having a brand or an attention network or a thing people use and have their identity tied to is just going to be such a big opportunity, like a valuable place to be. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that nets out.
Totally. All right, those are our topics. Any closing thoughts?
What's going on with the chat? Are we still people still chatting?
Chat's going. Yeah, they're still on Pogs as they should be.
Good. Yeah. Peace, can you design something for us here as a way out? I'm just throwing this on you right now, but like, can we do something?
What could we possibly design? Well, so yeah, let's see.
I mean, Pogs, like JPogs seems like a worthwhile thing for us to go down the path on. We have other suggestions. Drop them in the chat here, so we have control of the person who's controlling the screen. So let's do it. Let's see some prompts. Pogs.
Yeah, get some Midjourney Pogs prompting up.
Oh, should we do that? Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
And Cheryl wants fembots and JPogs for some reason.
That sounds.
Drop a link,
right
Dave. Drop a link if we need to sweep some Pogs.
Okay, let me stop sharing that screen and let me present my other screen.
Jess, you're getting some compliments. Dave thinks you're looking handsome today. That's nice.
I think he thinks what?
He thinks you're looking handsome today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got a haircut coming up this afternoon, so I'm going to be a whole new man next. I've just been trying to grow it out.
So like how a haircut for you is beard.
It's both. It's the whole thing. I got a great person. Like my barber is so good. We love her. And I get all the gossip of my small local town as well from it. I'm gonna learn so much and come out looking incredible.
Which you love.
I love
the
all
gossip.
about it. And I get to update them on my golf game.
Should you tell everyone how well you shot this week?
Oh yeah, I shot an 84 this week. That's my personal record. Thank you, Josh, for giving me a stage to talk about just the massive improvements of my game from 9 months ago.
I was actually going to open with it, and then I was like, "There's no way he doesn't bring it up," so I'm just going to let it happen organically.
I'm trying to.
And it didn't happen.
Guff.
So
I'm getting some guff on. Yeah, they're like, you should chill. Like, what? You just golf now? I'm like, no. But there's like a clear personality that I could just assume that I've done, and I think that's an amazing superpower. All right, hold on. We're just like actually talking through the most important things here, which is Peace just like brute forcing this tool.
Midjourney.
So what do we?
This one's
Cheryl,
fucked up.
Is this what you were imagining?
Yeah. The entrails in the back are crazy.
Is there a Pog? Was there a Pog prompt there, or was it? We're just deep in the
It was Fembot Pog, which could have gone worse.
Oh, look at that like sea monster there.
Yeah,
this is for Rekka.
Awesome. These
Nice
ones are
font.
pretty cute. I like the second one here. Yeah, this is dope.
Oh, this is incredible.
Wow.
Just imagine those
Oh,
on
Me,
Pogs.
me and who?
Me, please. Me, please.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Oh my
This has
God.
kind of got Cheryl's vibe.
Definitely.
Cheryl should do her hair like this. It's a good look.
Can we get like a sort of lumberjack version of
Yeah.
this in some way? Like I'm looking to see myself in one of these
Yeah,
pods.
you want to identify with one of these.
Yeah, I want to be
Easy.
identified. Pull me in.
Just needs to make this about himself.
Yeah, what are your prompts you're even using here?
It's so basic.
But are you just copy pasting that in, or are you actually like writing?
He's already trained it.
Yeah, I already have I did the tune.
Okay.
I tuned it. Which sounds more complicated than it is. Basically, it just means I did a basic search, right? I did /tune and I typed in 1980s magazine illustration, comma, airbrush illustration. And then it gives you these images and you get to pick your favorite ones. And then it gives you this thing to copy paste, which has this little seed here. And then you can just add to it. So I'm going to type in Forester. Wait, let's just get a couple queued up so we can do I don't know, what's another one besides
WWE goes to
lumberjack?
cut trees down or something like that is what that image looks like.
Yeah. Logger. We'll just do logger. We'll see what comes up there. And then yeah. What? What?
Get that top right. Get that top right one.
Yeah, that looks pretty crazy. Well, we may as well just enlarge them all. This one's awesome, though. These dudes are great.
It's a great T-shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
All white, big.
And then.
Oh
Damn,
yes. Let's
Dude,
go.
Big. This thing is a mystery right here. This is crazy.
What is? How is he holding that? It's like a knife to cut trees. Okay.
It's like a knife gun.
He's holding it. He's holding it like it's a gun. That's amazing. They think those BC forests are very scary, don't they?
I mean, is he? I mean, that's epic. That's literally what I'm going to look like when I dye my hair. It's going to be incredible.
Oh, these are all really nice. Yeah, I would say money can't buy this, but it can. Midjourney offers a monthly subscription, and it's so worth it. Well, I want this glove. Oh yes, this has got to be one of my favorites that I think I've ever gotten.
Giving it the finger too, injecting it with a needle and then just giving it the finger before even plunging it.
Yeah, this was Forester.
What else should we add here? What do you want to see? We had Cheryl suggested fembots, and look what's created. I suggested lumberjack. I mean, look at the goal that's been created. Give us a couple other suggestions here in the chat, and I want to see what Peace can come up with.
Five-second delay. Beans.
Easy.
Well,
easy. I love how you remove fast and put beans.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
I want to give a couple shout outs. We got some announcements from C Club World today. Song Camp coming out announcing their next camp. Shout out. Been a while. Very excited to see the crew come back together. And I know with Matthew quite a bit about what they're planning there, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Music NFTs plus communities. Giddy up.
Look at this lumberjack. This is amazing.
What?
Yeah, so the beans The beans are underway.
He says easy, and he gets a bunch of sex toys that come up
The
on.
Right,
beans
right.
the beans are coming. The beans are coming.
These are awesome. This is like beans if they were California raisins
On mushrooms.
on mushrooms. Yeah. Well, it's got
He
to
looks
be
like he's jonesing
murky
for some
inside the mind of a language model. Oof.
Oh, look at that guy. Look at the pile on the bottom left.
all the numbers.
Yeah.
Beans.
Beans.
I love it.
Tomatoes, too.
So, as a graphic designer, this is job threatening.
Well, yeah, we were talking about that earlier. There's that report going around about copywriters and editors seeing a decrease in demand on freelance platforms because of ChatGPT. The first signs of the impending doom of AI taking over the world and our jobs. But
Jelly beans.
With free and unfettered access to images like this, who needs designers?
yeah, well, that maybe is a good place to leave it today with such an astute observation and statement about the future, and for an episode that was filled with AI goodness in a way that we probably will never meet again at some point. I don't know.
Dude, it's just so funny. I just piece the one scroll up like 2. Just the guy just being like so satisfied amongst beans.
He's got 2 chilies. I mean, it's amazing.
But they're bean chilies. He's got bean
Right.
stuffed chilies.
They're filled. They're stuffed with
uncooked beans. That's like evil.
With gel. They're
spicy
gel stuff.
Dude, have your eyes
like
ever been
NyQuil.
like this?
It looks like NyQuil in there, actually.
Yeah, this will put you to sleep.
All right, and let's wrap this up because we got lovely people here hanging out. What up, Near? How you doing? If you have comments, obviously we're figuring out how to make this dope. Really want it to feel like a place you can just come hang out, drop in, drop out. Hopefully we can get a little bit entertaining at some point. Peace is obviously doing most of the work here and makes it easy for Josh and I. But if you have any suggestions, anything that we can do better, drop them in the chat. That'll allow us to continue to iterate on this. One such iteration from last time was that we're like, oh, we actually need a way to close out the show. And then Peace, you did something there. So we're back here every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. This is the second episode. We're here for a while. We're going to keep on doing this. Make sure it's on your calendars. You can also subscribe right at the very bottom of the page if you want a text update when we go live so you don't miss your friends. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, topic suggestions. We're also going to have some guests coming on, so we'll continue to rock and roll. And if this screen isn't the best looking screen for a live stream around, I don't know what is. Like, you can just come back just to stare at this and leave if you need to.
Let me screenshot this for a sec just so we can. Yeah.
Awesome.
Right. Thanks for hanging out.
See you guys later. Ciao, ciao.